First, fasting is an important practice of the Christian life. Fasting as a Christian isn't like fasting before your annual physical. It isn't meant to cleanse your system of everything that could mess up your test results, and yet, there's a similarity. Christian fasting is a spiritual discipline, which means it is a habit or practice that helps us to grow in our faith and turn to God for help in accomplishing our calling in the world. So in a sense, it does act to cleanse our system, to remove something from our lives that reduces our focus on what is most important. Fasting was considered one of the key practices among God's people up to the time of Jesus and beyond. Fasts were part of the ceremonial life of God's people. They were a natural response to different situations as well. Jesus' own instruction on fasting treated fasting as a given. When you fast, he said. It wasn't a question of whether or not we would fast. For Jesus, and for the whole of Scripture, it's not considered optional. It was, and is, something that we all should and must practice. The bigger question is how and for what reason. Second, there isn't one way or one reason to fast. Okay, that's not entirely true. There is one primary reason to fast: to focus on prayer. But there's no one specific reason to be praying. In fact, there are many excellent reasons to do so, including worshiping God, repenting of sin, preparing for ministry, expressing grief and sorrow, petitioning for God's help, deliverance and protection, seeking wisdom. In the same way that there isn't one reason alone for us to pray, there isn't one method of fasting. Traditionally and most commonly, fasting is practiced by abstaining from food for a set period. But that's not the only way you can fast. And if you have a medical condition that requires you to eat at regular intervals, abstaining from food is unwise. Perhaps your fasting will mean abstaining from specific types of food, technology, television, or anything else that would be a genuine sacrifice to you. Regardless of what you're abstaining from, the intent is the same: to devote your attention to the Lord. Third, fasting is both private and communal. The Bible repeatedly shows fasting in two different contexts. It is a personal act, one that seems to be done principally in private outside of view from others. But fasting is also done in community, with many praying and fasting as one body. The fasts prescribed in the ceremonial law show this. Also, Esther commands that all the Jews pray and fast, seeking God's favor in the face of potential death. Church leaders devoted themselves to prayer and fasting before sending Paul and Barnabas on their missionary journey. The apostles and the whole church likewise devoted themselves to prayer, which undoubtedly included fasting. But whether in private or communal, fasting is not to be done